All right, this is Corporal Michelle Beach and Detective Leslie Lehman, case number 213216. It's February 3rd at 15:09 hours. All right, so I honestly just have very few short questions. Obviously,
Sure.
We're talking about Deputy.
Correct.
He's a deputy, right? He's not detective?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
So first off, can you tell me when he called you?
Yes. So it was December 23rd, a little bit after 5. I had my 2 daughters, and I think it's important for context of,
Right.
so I had my 2 daughters, my son, and my wife. We were in the car, and he calls me, and, it's 2 days before Christmas, and I pick up the phone, and he goes, dude, I just totaled my car. And I was like, oh, you mean tell me you lived here all your life in this California that just comes up here a few years ago, can drive? And so it was kind of a jovial, I was kind of harassing him that he can't drive. And
Sure.
it was kind of like, I can't believe, you did this, and boom, boom, boom. And I said, hey, honey, Jason, he crashed his car, and he doesn't know how to drive. And she may have had some comments. And then the conversation progressed, and it got to the point where I said, well, something triggered based on some conversation or a statement that he said, that it may have happened more recent than just like a few hours ago, right? So I said, well, when did this happen? He goes, well, it's just happened just now. I go, what are you talking about right now? He goes, yeah. He goes, it just happened right now. I go, bro, you need to get off the phone. And if you're hurt or anybody else is hurt, you need to make sure that medical attention is coming to your location. I go, number 2, and then he said, well, nobody's hurt. I said, well, number 2, you need to call dispatch, because if somebody's rolling code 3 to your location and hurts themselves, that's not good.
Right.
So I said, you need to get off the phone and do those things. And so, boom, he hangs up. We were going axe throwing, so we had kind of, and I don't really know specifically, but I know that the first phone call was on the way there, and then it may have been in the parking lot where we finished, and then my family and I went in to do the axe throwing.
Right.
And then a few minutes later, he calls me again. And
He called you twice.
Yeah.
Okay.
This time it gets a little more inquisitive, where I'm feeling a little bit more uncomfortable.
What? How long was between the first call and the second
probably
call?
5-6 minutes.
Okay, so not long.
Yeah. So now at this point in time, the questioning, he goes, I'm really in some grease here, and I'm kind of summarizing, because as far as what exact terms he used.
This happened like 2 months ago, yeah.
Well, and then we're in a loud car, and then we go into this axe throwing, and things are, hitting the boards. I don't know if you've ever been there, but things are hitting, and it's not very quiet in there, So I'm thinking, okay, but I can tell his line of questioning. He's, hey, what should I do? I don't think anybody saw me driving. And I go, Jason, regardless of what happens to you criminally, whether somebody puts you behind the wheel or not, you're going to be held accountable administratively for this event. And then, the questioning was just a little bit different. And so and some of the questions were, okay, well, what did you hit? What did you hit? What you didn't hit? And he kept making reference. He was less than 2 blocks from home. And I don't know. He just says, well, I'm less than 2 blocks from home. I'm less than 2 blocks from home. And then I'm getting to the point in the conversation that he's probably been drinking. And I don't know what he hit and what he didn't hit. And at some point in time, I said, Jason, you're asking me these questions, but I'm not there. I wasn't out drinking with you. I wasn't with you when this happened. I don't know these things. You're going to have to make that evaluation assessment on yourself. I said, if you've called dispatch and they said it's an hour ETA before somebody gets there, then go home if you're less than 2 blocks away and tell them this is your address. If they're 5 minutes away from your location, I would say stay there. But I have no way to gauge these things.
Sure.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm throwing axes, picking up the phone, and I said, I'm not in the best position to be able to tell you what to do. You're a deputy sheriff, you know the responsibilities. And then, then I just, we hung up, and then he called again. I didn't answer the phone the next time. And then I had heard that either ISP or one of our sergeants was on scene. So then I knew that, it was being handled or resolved.
Okay.
And that was kind of,
the gist of it.
right.
So he called you a third time, you didn't pick up the third time?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know what number he called from? Do your deputies have work phones?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Did he call you from a work phone, or did he call you from a personal phone? And did he call your work or personal?
He called my work.
Okay.
But, I'm assuming it's his personal. He called.
Sure, if that's his personal work.
You know what? I guess I could.
It's hard. It's okay. It's hard to tell. On our
Right.
phones, I can understand that. Did he text you anything, or did he just call?
No texting.
Okay. Is it normal for him to call you?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Well, I wouldn't say. Well.
I don't know how your chain. I don't know how your chain of
No,
command
it's
works.
not normal, but.
Yeah.
Kind of doing some remodeling in here, so that's why.
Are you looking for the phone number list?
Yeah.
And did he know that you were off that day?
Well, I don't know if I'm ever off, but
That's fair.
but certainly I am not in his chain of command for
Sure.
any type of notifications.
Right.
And nor was I with him at any point in time during the day.
Right.
What kind of led me to believe that the questions were just a little bit. I interpreted it that he and I were drinking that day together or something.
Oh, that's the way he was talking.
Yeah. And I go, well, why are you asking me for advice and asking me questions? I go, I'm not with you, nor was I with you. I don't know what the circumstances of that incident are.
Yeah.
I go, I don't know if in my head, I'm interpreting these things. If you hit, what did you hit?
Mm-hmm.
Did you hit a person, not realize you hit a person? What was your initial point of impact?
Mm-hmm.
Or was it just a slide off? But I wasn't in a position to get that evaluation.
Right.
He, on the scene, is the best person to do that.
And do you know how long he's been working with you guys?
Oh, about 25 years.
Sounds about right.
Okay.
No, he's not a,
He's not new.
2-year employee, that's for sure. That is his personal cell.
Okay. Thank you. So was there? So you said that was it his line of questioning, or was it how he was speaking that made you believe that there was alcohol involved in this?
Well, he said he had 2 beers, and of course.
Mm-hmm. Right, we've been doing this job long enough.
Is that
Yeah.
like the school everybody goes to?
Yeah. Sure.
It's a school. But, he
Okay.
had 2 beers, and he's less than 2 blocks from his house.
Did he say he was in the vehicle when he called you, or did he say exactly where he was when he called you?
He may have, but
Okay.
I'm not either. Based on what was going on around me, or did I ask? Probably not. Probably didn't even ask, because I kind of assumed during the first phone call, the vast majority was the first phone call was that
It was just
it happened earlier
one.
that day.
Yeah.
He goes, and dude, I just totaled my truck, you know.
Yeah.
And then, you know, that's how I went on to that conversation. But yeah, I don't think I asked.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fair. And did he sound like he was intoxicated when you talked to him?
You know, I believe that I could detect some slurred speech.
Okay.
But like I said, that first initial phone call, you know, it was kind of, I was going to be on the phone for a couple minutes. I had other things I had to
Sure.
do, and I really didn't give it that assessment until I asked him, hey, when did this happen? Oh, it's happening right now. Get off the phone. Make sure anybody needs medical attention. And 2, call dispatch because we don't want somebody getting hurt
Okay.
rolling to your code 3.
Okay. At any point during any of the conversation with him, did you tell him? Well, you did tell him, hey, if you're gonna go home, then call dispatch.
Call
anyways.
dispatch, say, hey, this is where you're going to be.
Okay.
But I don't know, you know, what the ETA of
Anybody
yeah,
else.
you know, if it's going to be an
Sure.
hour and you're pretty sure you didn't hit anybody, then
Right.
yeah, go ahead and tell them, you know. But if they're going to be there in 5 minutes, then just stay there.
And it was cold out that
But-
night too.
And I'm not, you know, I'm not the one to evaluate that for
Right.
him. You know, it's like, and finally that's how, you know, I said, hey, it doesn't matter what happens to you criminally, you're still going to be held accountable administratively. And I'm not the best person to give you advice on what to do because I'm not there, nor was I with you at any time during that day.
Correct. All right. I guess those are pretty much the things I need to clarify that you told him, you know, call dispatch. And if he were to go home, again, he needed to call dispatch and let them be aware of that.
And an assessment that he would have to make. You know, if it's, hey, you know what, we're swamped, it's going to be an hour. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's a super minor
but
crash.
if
Yeah.
you're going to be there for 5 minutes in ETN 5, then just wait.
Yes.
That would be something he would have to evaluate. Cause
Right. I totally agree with that. Any questions you can think of, Leslie?
Nothing.
All right. That's all I got.
all right.
Thank you.